Hey, look who's back in Prospect, Kentucky. You want me to go make a cocktail? What's the password?
I don't know. I'm thirsty.
Yeah, that'll do. Well, welcome back to another edition of Bourbon and Books with the Doctor, Speakeasy Edition. Tonight, I've picked a super easy cocktail that's also steeped in tradition and history for us to make together. It doesn't require very many ingredients, a couple of simple liqueurs, and just a lovely presentation. It's a bourbon cocktail that's specifically, in my opinion, a dessert cocktail meant for after dinner. Super sweet if you like them that way. In any case, tonight's cocktail is the Godfather. The Godfather cocktail traditionally asks for Scotch whiskey and Amaretto. Some ask for equal parts, but most often you're going to have less Amaretto than the whiskey. But the variant that we'll be doing today will be Bourbon and Disaronno. And I also add some dashes of bitters just because I like the aromas, and of course a bourbon-soaked cherry. So let's go ahead and make our cocktail. We'll get our graduated cylinder out, and tonight's bourbon that I'm going to feature is going to be my Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Select. We'll pour 2 ounces of that right into our mixer. Then we'll take our Disaronno. Disaronno is one of the original Italian liqueurs since 1525. It is a 28% alcohol by volume liqueur. And I use about 1 ounce of that. I don't want to do equal parts because it is super sweet. Like I say, you can also use Amaretto. Now I also like to add some bitters, so I'm going to use my Bolivar bitters today. Kadoosh, right there we go. And then we're going to put some ice in that and give it a little bit of time to open up with the ice, interacting with that bourbon. And we'll give it a good couple of stirs. We'll set that there. Again, I've prepared in my glass a large square ice cube that I've run under the water just to make it fit just so. And I will go ahead and I will take one of my Woodford Reserve bourbon soaked cherries and I will float it right on top of that ice cube there. And now we'll just stir this a couple more times. Again, we don't need to shake this. We're not barbarians. It's a sophisticated bourbon cocktail. Stirring's all that's necessary. And then we'll just pour that right over our ice cube. And that should bring us right to the top. All right, what a beautiful looking cocktail that is. There's our ingredients. You can see we're floating that cherry. Let me give it a nice taste. So again, it's a dessert bourbon cocktail. Has the almond liqueur sweetness mixed with that oaky bourbon loveliness. So that's the Godfather, a cocktail that got its origins around the time of the original Godfather movie. So now let's move on to our book recommendation for the day. Staying in the speakeasy setting, I've selected The Poisoner's Handbook. This is an interesting book that gives a historical perspective of forensic medicine in the United States of America. What a lot of people probably don't know, unless they know this history already and read a book like this, is that forensic medicine didn't even exist until around 1918 when they appointed a man, a doctor, to be the chief medical examiner of New York. And this book goes over how they then started applying chemistry and science to solving murders and crime that before had been happening in droves without any ability to really convict somebody or have enough evidence to convict somebody. But what's most interesting about this book is the Prohibition era issues that it goes over, and how it took the chief medical examiner of New York intervening with the United States government to get them to stop poisoning the American citizens during Prohibition. Little known fact that Americans don't remember is that when Prohibition was the law, our government decided that if you were going to break the law, you might have to pay a price for that. They decided to put methanol in all alcohols that were out there to try to dissuade people from drinking it. They added more and more methanol to all the alcohol. Problem was, people kept drinking it and dying in droves. The coroner's office, the morgue, was overflowing with people dying from the government poisoning their own people. And it was the chief medical examiner that had to go to the politicians and say, this is madness, stop killing your own people. And this book goes over that. So the Poisoner's Handbook ties in nicely to our jazz era speakeasy theme for tonight. In any case, again, thanks for returning for another edition of Bourbon and Books with the Doctor. I'm Dr. Andrew DeGruccio, orthopedic surgeon and amateur mixologist. I've really enjoyed doing several of these videos for you. I'll keep doing a few more, especially since we're apparently going to be on lockdown and home isolation for several more days with this coronavirus. Again, I'm doing this to provide entertainment because I'm sure you're using up most of your video entertainment options just like I am at home. So I will continue to do more. Go to my YouTube page, like the videos, make recommendations. If you have a cocktail you'd like to see, I'll be up for the challenge and I'll do it for you. In any case, stay safe, stay in your home, wash your hands, and have a wonderful weekend.